O Canada, you glorious national treasure. This week, the Great White North collectively rolled its eyes so hard it could have powered a hydroelectric plant, all thanks to one Prince Harry and his latest stop on the Please Clap For Me world tour. You'd think after years in the spotlight, he'd have learned how to read a room. But no, he went full cringe at a Toronto charity dinner, thanking Canada for providing a wife, as if the nation were some royal matchmaking agency. Let's rewind. The royal-turned-Hollywood sidekick recently shared that his highly publicized date night at an LA Dodgers game came courtesy of billionaire Mark Walter, the team's co-owner. Yes, the same Mark Walter whose company reportedly has links to U.S. immigration detention facilities and the infamous ICE operations that separate families at the border. Because nothing says socially aware royal quite like cozying up with a man who literally funds private prisons. Brilliant. Naturally, the revelation caused outrage, not just because of who the invite came from, but because of how cluelessly Harry shared it. During a sheepish apology to Canadians for wearing a Dodgers cap instead of a Toronto Blue Jays one, he joked he'd done it under duress. Poor Harry, always the victim, forced to enjoy luxury perks against his will. His billionaire buddy rolled out the full VIP fantasy for Harry and Meghan, and the couple posted their date night on Instagram, grinning so wide you could almost hear the clinking of sponsorship deals in the background. Nothing screams authentic love story, quite like a billionaire-funded PR moment during the World Series. But the real fireworks came in Toronto. On stage at the True Patriot Love Foundation dinner, an event honoring veterans, Harry decided it was the perfect moment to ad-lib the now infamous line, "You provided a wife for me. Oh, Canada, you didn't deserve that." The audience, to their credit, smiled politely while the internet collectively screamed, "Wait, what?" It sounded less like gratitude and more like something a guy would say on a sketchy mail-order bride site. Awkward, outdated, and about as self-aware as a goldfish. To make things worse, Canadians quickly reminded him that Meghan Markle wasn't provided by Canada. She's from California, a woman who quite literally bleeds Dodgers blue. But Harry, ever determined to dig the hole deeper, doubled down, insisting that many people believe she's Canadian because she lived in Toronto for years. That's like saying Ryan Reynolds is British because he filmed Deadpool in London. If he were being honest, he'd have said, "Thanks, Soho House, for introducing me to my future PR partner." Since Meghan's Toronto connection came through her friend Marcus Anderson, the Soho House executive who set them up. Canadians, naturally, had a field day. Social media lit up with mockery. One commenter wrote, "As a proud Canadian, we do not claim her. No thanks needed." Another quipped, "Provided a wife? What is this, 1450? Even the polite ones couldn't resist noting that Meghan's time in Toronto was just her Suits era, hardly grounds for honorary citizenship. And while Harry fumbled geography, Canadians roasted him with surgical precision. Memes flew faster than Tim Hortons orders at rush hour. The Lost Prince, the Californian Duchess, and the delusional gratitude speech no one asked for. Some even joked that Canada should send him an invoice for emotional damages. So, to recap, in 1 week, Harry managed to insult Canada, annoy baseball fans, and link himself to one of America's most controversial corporate figures. Not bad for a man who once prided himself on military precision. He can't hit a PR target to save his life. Then came the cherry on top, the apology. Harry joked that he wore the Dodgers cap under duress to be polite. Translation: "I was bribed with VIP seats and free snacks, but sure, I suffered through it." Canadians weren't buying it. They haven't forgotten that he traded Buckingham Palace for Beverly Hills, only to thank them for producing his California-born wife. Even worse, Harry seems convinced he's back in everyone's good graces. His Toronto trip, insiders say, was meant to mark his statesman era, proof he still matters. But when your apology tour includes jokes about your wife being a national export and partnerships with prison funders, it's less statesman and more stand-up gone wrong. Canadians saw through the flattery. They've witnessed this act before. The faux humility, the rehearsed charm, The "we love your country" routine that pops up whenever the Sussexes need good press. It's the same move Meghan uses when she lands somewhere new and declares it feels like home. Yeah, you said that in Nigeria too. And let's talk about that speech writing. The line, touchstone in my life both professionally and personally, classic Meghan phrasing. You can almost hear her voice guiding him through the teleprompter. She probably made him rehearse until he could deliver it without sounding like a hostage. Her PR instincts are unmatched. And yet, somehow, they still manage to crash and burn every time. By week's end, Canada was done. The country that patiently endures freezing winters and political scandals finally drew the line, being blamed for Meghan Markle. The collective response: no exchanges, no returns, no refunds. Savage, but fair. Harry's been on a downward spiral of tone-deaf moves since stepping away from royal duties. The once beloved prince has turned into a walking meme. His transformation from military man to dad influencer is nearly complete. You can almost see the Instagram caption now. #AddHarryHere. This royal glow-up is sponsored by oat milk and regret. Even his appearance got roasted. One viewer joked that the battle to keep the bog brush at the front of his head is over. Another said he's too old, too bald, too fried. Harsh? Maybe. Accurate? Definitely. It's not just his hairline retreating, it's his dignity. At this point, Harry apologizing to Canadians over a baseball cap feels almost poetic. He can say sorry to Toronto for a hat, but not to his family for years of chaos. His priorities are as misplaced as his geography facts. Canada roasted him, not out of cruelty, but because someone had to say it. Enough with the performative charm, fake humility, and endless rebranding. Nobody's buying it anymore. When your idea of a date night is a corporate networking event sponsored by a billionaire who profits from detention centers, you've lost the plot. Harry wanted to prove he's still relevant, and he did, just not the way he hoped. The internet, the media, and an entire country turned him into a punchline faster than you can say, Sussex PR strategy. Maybe next time, instead of thanking an entire nation for providing a wife, he should try thanking the actual people responsible. Marcus Anderson, Thomas Markle, or better yet, his own judgment.